Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Brigade. I am Brian Greer, and on this show, we do reviews, previews, playthroughs, and have conversations about our favorite board games. So if you're new here, please consider joining the community by hitting that subscribe button. Today in the show, we are doing the Kickstarter Kickoff. Now, this is a relatively new series where we talk about what is coming off on Kickstarter, but we're actually going to be including GameFound in this. We're going to be talking about the games that are most exciting for me this week. So that's what we're going to do. So let's just dive right into it, I guess. Why not? So the first game coming out is actually going to be on GameFound. This is Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition. I wanted to make sure I started on this page because right here it says, if you follow the project, you can get €5 credits for free once it's launched. So if you want free $5, make sure you follow Robinson Crusoe before its launch, and they will apply that to your pledge manager. So Robinson Crusoe is a game that I've yet to play, not because of lack of trying, though. We have tried to play Robinson Crusoe. I don't personally own this game, but I have a friend who does, and every time we've gone over to his house to play, he doesn't know how to play it himself, so he's trying to teach us, and it's just a slog, and eventually we just decide to do something else. But I have wanted to play it. So there's actually something that's new to this that is going to be interesting. Now, I plan on, of course, doing a full breakdown of this game, so that's not really the intention of this, but I did like that they have this open and play tutorial campaign. It'll basically be like, you know what, instead of having you grind through this pretty heavy rule book, which Robinson Crusoe has already been hit hard for having a bad rule book, they're saying, let's teach you the mechanics, kind of like if you were learning to walk. Let's teach you easily through. So that's interesting to me. So I will definitely be taking a look at this collector's edition version of Robinson Crusoe. Look forward to this week where I actually will do a deeper dive into this campaign. So the next game we're going to be covering is Mythic Battles Ragnarök. Now, this was supposed to be launching this week, and I was pretty stoked about it, but it is being delayed till, I believe, April 4th. So unfortunately, this was supposed to be launching, but it's not. We can still talk about it a little bit, though. Mythic Battles originally came out as Pantheon, covering, I believe, Roman gods, basically battling. It's a area movements you can play. It's got a lot. There's a lot of stuff in Mythic Battles, to be honest with you. They have like 7 types of mechanics that the game could be, like drafting, card placement, skirmish, campaign. There's so much stuff. But Ragnarök is going to be taking that same idea, this time by Monolith. So I believe the original Pantheon, this was before I was a content creator when Mythic Battles Pantheon came out, but I believe it was by Mythic Games and in partnership with Monolith. And I believe Mythic Games left to go do Joan of Arc. That's rough, I think, was what happened. Now, I've heard the original Mythic Battles had a bad rulebook or rough rulebook in terms of like just difficult to read, which is very common with Mythic Games, at least in this era, because Joan of Arc also had a very rough rulebook. So now this is being headed by Monolith. Monolith decided to stay with this franchise, and it's actually an interesting franchise. And after reading this, I'm like, man, I think I would have really liked the other one as well, Pantheon, because one, I love Rome. I've been to the Pantheon, so that's something. And I also do love Viking lore, and I mean, I've got some runes on my arm. So this is interesting to me. I'm definitely excited for it, but we're not going to be talking about this much until it actually hits Kickstarter, which will be in April. Okay, so here we are into look at me, I'm way down in their campaign. Right here, we're in the Battle for Biternia, the Pixelvania Hero Pack. So this is going to be a game that is a MOBA-like game. So think League of Legends is the best way I could describe it. And you're going to be having these pixel art characters. You're going to be moving around, leveling up, and then you're going to be battling. And you're basically going to be playing cards. You're going to be moving. Everyone moves their stuff. And then at some point, you're all going to be playing cards. And depending on what you play will be the action. You know, did you do something well? Did your opponent counter you? whatever. I think it looks really interesting. I'm not quite sure about the gameplay. I really want to see it. This is the second printing. Basically, this printing is including more heroes. But what is a little staggering for me right now is they have the combo breaker. So this is $74 for this game, which is pretty staggering. But that will include the Battle of Biternia base game, the new hero pack, which is the new heroes. You could get the new heroes for just $25, and then they unlock stretch goals. We'll probably cover this if it's interesting, but I am a little nervous on this price point for what I'm seeing right here. But that's, you know, I'm always looking for MOBA battlers. The only problem with them is like they're usually minimum 2 players, or sometimes 4 players, depending on the type. So I really am curious of what this one will look like. So that is Battle for, how do you say it again? Biternia, something like that. It's like Biternia, something like that. Okay, so the next game that we have is Fjords. This is a tile laying game that will be taking place in 2 phases. First, players will explore the fjord by laying their hexagonal landscape tiles. Second, beginning with the encampments placed during the phase 1. Players will walk through landscapes, claiming as much of the plains and cliffs as possible. This is actually a second printing. The original printing that came out, I can't remember. I think it might have been 2008. I mean, we can do it quick. Just do it. 2005. So this is the first time this game came out. Not as highly rated, but they're saying that it's going to be improving on it. And I always like these kind of pretty looking games, so I'll be taking a look at it very closely, watching the campaign. Not sure if I'll be doing a deep dive on this one, because it's a little bit more smaller game, but it's going to be probably one of the more ones that I'd be interested that's coming out this week, because there's a lot of games coming out this week that I am just not interested in at all. The next game that we're going to be talking about, man, look at me, I'm always way down. Okay, Xenohunters Sci-Fi Horror Beyond the Outer Rim. Now, this is being brought to you by Half Monster Games. I have covered one of their games prior, which did not fund, unfortunately. It was a fun game. It was a little light war game. But Xenohunters is basically, if I were to tell you what it is, I think it's, frick, what the heck is the name of that game? Nemesis. It is basically Nemesis in a very condensed version, almost like maybe like a side B version of Nemesis. So the premises of this game is that you're going to be the Xenohunters on a ship. You're going to have a xenomorph of some sort trying to hunt the players, and you're trying to remain hidden on both sides until you no longer can, because you're trying to complete your objective. I most likely will not do a deep dive on this, but I think I wanted to see where they had. So right here, here's the ship, very reminiscent to me of Nemesis in terms of the layout. Again, I don't know much in terms of the play stuff, but if you guys want something fun, I'm not going to watch this right now, but this was fun to watch. So if you want a 5-minute little story that doesn't really talk much about the game, I recommend watching that. I'm not going to watch it right now, but I thought that was kind of funny. So that will be wrapping up the games that are going to be coming on Kickstarter and or GameFound. We do have one more to talk about, which is on CrowdOX. So this is the late pledge section. Sometimes I'll be talking about late pledges that are exciting or games that I either backed. I want to make sure people are aware of them if they didn't get it on the first go. Vindication Chronicles and Vindication base game is now available for CrowdOX on late pledge, and you also have all-in options. You either have all-in of gameplay or all-in, and this one includes sleeves, I believe. Yeah, sleeves. So, I mean, you can look at the cost and see if those sleeves are worth it for you, but I do know these had some awkward sized cards. But Vindication was already a very highly rated game. Chronicles was going to be adding that story. I've already done a Should You Back series on this Chronicles, Vindication Chronicles. If you're interested in that, I'll put a little card up here for you so you can click on that. But the late pledge is now open. I'll have the links down below. So that we'll be wrapping up my Kickstarter kickoff for the week. What do you guys think about this quick rapid fire play style? Let me know if this is something you want to keep seeing. I've had some people ask me to just cover everything that's coming out on Kickstarter. There are other people who do that, but maybe my voice is different in terms of how you want to hear my opinions about games coming out. My problem is sometimes I get into rants and I just want to talk about the game, kind of like I was doing with Robinson Crusoe and Ragnarök. But I want to try to keep these condensed to like 30 seconds to 45-second segments to keep things moving for you guys here. So let me know what you guys think. We're going to go ahead and do a hashtag at the bottom. If you guys want to leave a comment for me, do a hashtag, do Vindication. Let me know what you guys think of the series and if you guys want to see any changes or if it's perfect. I'd love to know. If you want to really support the channel and help us out, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make that like button turn blue. I forgot what I was going to say for a second. This is Brian from Game Brigade. I will talk to you all very soon.